Your stress may be getting to the point where, like, I don't know, you could be relatively young and like fit and healthy and all that and still be at risk of like a high blood pressure issue. But it's just giving that, like, I don't know. I think that in the big ways, everything is working out for you, but this kind of ties into the last message I posted, but like the minor irritants, you're allowing them to sort of, you're mentally blowing them out of proportion. Like, you know, you're letting the little things ruin your day, even though the big things are going well for you, if that makes sense. Like, for example, say, say you have an ex, and your ex could be like, bothering you, but you're already over them, but they could be like irritating you and bothering you and stuff like that. However, you know, you could like already be in a full relationship with like the person of your dreams, or you're about to be, or you're like in the talking phase with this person. It's going really well. So it's like you kind of just have to intentionally shift your mindset from focusing on like, because it's giving like gnats, right? Like, say you're in this beautiful nature park, okay, and it's like the most beautiful place you've ever seen so far, okay, and but it's distracting you from appreciating the view and stuff like that, because a cloud of like little gnats are like swarming around your face or whatever, right? Like, and so it's just, again, it's just like distracting you from all the beauty that's surrounding you. And it seems very serious, but like it's actually quite harmless, and it's not going to affect you in any way. It's just that you have to take a moment to like, uh I don't know, like swat them away. I don't know. But I think that it's getting to the point where like every like you have to, it's almost becoming essential that you reframe your mindset, because you're giving yourself anxiety where it doesn't need to be there. um and it's because you were focusing still on the past and like unresolved things in the past, or like, oh, it also comes into where like you kept doubting that things were working out for you, and they're going to work out for you regardless. But like, you know do you want to allow yourself to be optimistic and like see the ways in which things are going well, or do you want to keep being pessimistic and have those things work out for you regardless, except they work out for you, and then you end up, I don't know, having high blood pressure, right? Like there comes a point when you being hyper rational by saying like, oh, I can't trust this, it's just gonna fall apart like everything else, blah blah blah. Like you're like torturing yourself. And it's unhealthy for you physically. Okay, I know that it can feel healthier for your ego, it can feel safer for your ego to be like, I'm just like bracing myself for things to not work out so I won't be disappointed. But like, again, it's just giving the sense that you could be somebody in your younger, like you're like early 20s, and you already have high blood pressure, like, because you're so tense, and you're always just think it's wiser for you to constantly anticipate things to fall apart and nothing bad is going to happen. Like, you have to understand that the things that didn't work out, you still grew through those experiences, and you're becoming your fully fledged and like fleshed out self. And like, you have to like get to a point where you gain enough perspective to where a lot of the things that you thought you wanted would have led you towards a life path that would have been unfulfilling for you in the long run, right? Like, say that there was a person that you were physically attracted to them, and like, you liked the way they made you feel or whatever, and you were like in love, okay? um and it's like, say that relationship did go perfectly fine, okay? you know you could have had a comfortable life, right? You could have, it would have been like, but would you, I don't know. It's something to where like, even if it worked out, and even if technically it was healthy or something, you would have ended up unfulfilled, because you wouldn't have been reaching your full potential. And sometimes, in an effort to be like good people or whatever, we can like shut down opportunities that would help us reach our full potential, because we're like, oh well, you know, I don't have a good reason to leave this person, and I would be leaving them for the wrong reasons if I did X, Y, or Z or whatever. So sometimes those like circumstances do arise to push you into a situation where you do end up, you know, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to explain. It's giving that like from like, I think it's uh like House of the Dragon, is that the name of it or whatever? Um I hope this isn't a spoiler. But like where when she's younger, there's like that knight or whatever who kind of like they're in love at the time or something. They were like into each other or like hooking up, you know? And it was like romantic or whatever, but he suggested that she like run away with him and like leave her crown or whatever to like be in love with him or something like that and have like, you know, this very like quaint life together. And then she like makes a face of like, you know, like ew, like no. Like no, why would I do something like that? And it's almost like you were going to, you know, if certain things didn't fall apart, you almost would have allowed yourself to basically have a life that um it could be very well suited for somebody else, but definitely it just like isn't for you. That's all. And this could even have to do with like, cause not everybody wants like a relationship. You know, not everybody would be emotionally fulfilled being in a relationship where they were provided for. So you don't have to take it that way. It could be that you once thought that that's what you wanted, and then you know, um, you are pushed like through your heartbreak to lean into your career, and then you end up, you know, becoming extremely successful in your career in some way, and then that's what actually fulfills you, right? um it's just like the things that went wrong, they sort of like cleared away any illusions or projections, or even, I don't want to say like brainwashing, but just the way you're raised makes you think that you like certain things would make you happy, like certain like guys or whatever. For example, you may, I don't know, and it doesn't have to be just guys, but I'm just thinking like some people who think that it's their dream to have a wife and kids, right? But do you actually want to be a husband, you know? And then you may realize like, yeah, no, I don't actually want this. And then opposite of some guy who may think that like, oh, I would be sacrificing my youth if I was in love with somebody, and like if I did do those things, and then you meet the right person, and then it like brings out the like lover, like that like romantic aspect of you that you didn't even think you had, right? So there's something about the things that went wrong happened in order to sort of I don't know, shed the false layers off of your desires and like your true self or whatever, like what your aspirations were, and helped you to gain clarity in regards to what will actually fulfill you emotionally long term. And that's going to look very different for everybody, obviously. But again, I am getting that honestly you need to take care of your health, like because you're stressing yourself out because of like you're comparing a completely new and fresh energy to situations that weren't meant to work out in the first place because they were holding you back in some way. um you know what I mean? Like it's getting some, I don't know, there's too much guilt in the energy right now, or this sense of failure of like, oh well, if it was meant to work out for me it would have worked out, but you're not taking into consideration that like, you know, if it was a marriage or a person, right? No, not everybody is the same. It was just not meant to work out with that person. But you know what I mean? So you're despairing over something that could not be fixed because the conditions were fundamentally wrong. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like you say you like made a cake, right? And you made it from scratch and you did it perfectly. All the ingredients were perfect, okay? And then you like put it in the oven and you like set the timer, and then you like never actually put the oven on though. And then so you're like in all this like state of despair or whatever, like, "Oh my god, I'm such a like, oh, I'm such a piece of shit. I'm so worthless or whatever because I couldn't make this cake even though I did everything right or whatever, right?" But like the fundamental, like the essential element of like the heat, the passion, whatever was not there. um that doesn't mean you did anything wrong, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but it's giving that like whatever your current in like incoming and new situation is already like a fully preheated oven, okay? Like the conditions are right, and you don't have to, I don't know, you don't need to keep like overthinking about what went wrong, because again, it was just not for you. Like that job wasn't for you, that career path wasn't for you, that industry wasn't for you, that person wasn't for you, that car, that place that you lived, it wasn't for you. And this time you're in alignment with what is for you, and that's why it's going to work. So please try to like journal or like meditate or slow down your breathing, and unclench your jaw too.